In today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through a wholetail deal that we're looking at netting north of $50,000 on. I'm going to walk you through what wholetailing is, when we do it, and why you should too. Let's dive right in. So wholetailing houses is different than wholesaling houses. That's wholetailing spelled with an I, not an E, not like tail is in a story, but it's spelled almost more like a cat's tail. Anyway, I got absolutely roasted for that in the past, so figured we just get that out of the way. So what is wholetailing? Wholesaling is when I get a property under contract, I don't have the ability or the intention to buy it, I'm looking to find somebody else to buy it, I assign the paperwork to them and I cash out in the middle. Basically, you're a middleman. Wholetailing, on the other hand, is buying the property, cleaning it out, turning around and listing it on the market, typically at a premium, so you turn a profit. Now, you could argue if you're wholetailing, you're also kind of just acting as a middleman, which to an extent you are. You're finding, sourcing the inventory, and getting it back on the market. One kind of key differentiator here, though, between wholesaling and wholetailing is A, the amount of risk involved, and B, the potential reward. When I'm wholesaling, I'm never buying the house. It's never actually my problem. When I'm wholetailing, I'm either using my own cash, hard money, or raising the capital to take that place down myself. I'm getting insurance on it. I'm paying taxes, utilities, all that good stuff. Like, it is my property and it is my responsibility at that point. Now, I personally moved from wholesaling over to wholetailing a little over a year ago for one major reason. I think it's a little bit arrogant on my end to assume that I have the best person to buy that property in my entire market on my list that I've curated. It's very likely it's somebody else out in my community that's going to be represented by a realtor that I don't know or haven't met yet. One of the hardest parts of real estate is finding good deals. So if you're doing what we teach on this channel and you're finding great deals, you absolutely want to maximize the return you're getting on those opportunities. For instance, let's say I'm wholesaling and I'm making 10K a deal and I do 10 deals a year. Not counting for expenses or anything, that's like 100K in top line revenue. Flip side, if I were to take those properties down, put them on the market, get them in front of the right person, and they sell for, say, $30,000 more, well, that's 300K in top line revenue without me having to find or do another deal. So this particular property came off of our radio ads. This was what it looked like when we made our initial offer on the place. We got the place for $242,000. We ended up turning around and listing it on the MLS without really doing too much, just kind of a deep clean and some small odds and ends for $324,000. And guess what? It didn't sell. So we dropped the price down to $319K, but it didn't sell. This is one of the common concerns I see with people on wholetailing. Well, what happens if I buy a property, I turn around, list it on the MLS, and it doesn't sell? Well, it's real simple, guys. We take it off the market, we do a little bit more work to it, we put it back on the market, and we let it sell. So we ended up pulling this place off of the market. We did right at $12,000 worth of work, paint, flooring, some other odds and ends. We actually relisted it at $349, so it more than what it didn't sell for. And guess what? It pended for $340K. So we ended up realistically kind of getting what we were initially shooting for with that 324 listing. We just had to take it down, do a little bit more work, and put it back on the market. One thing that I think is extremely important that we talk about when it comes to wholetailing real estate is the difference between the two kinds. You have the inventory that is so distressed, it's not financeable, it has to sell to an investor or a cash buyer. Those, in my opinion, can be the riskier wholetails where if it doesn't sell, you're going to be doing much more work to get that thing retail ready to sell. The second type, though, are the ones that are financeable, like this project. This project 100% qualifies for FHA, VA type lending without any sort of a giant remodel. If I had a choice between the two, I would rather be putting the inventory out there that a family can move into and make it a great home. But like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, worst case scenario, if I have one of these has to sell for cash projects and it doesn't sell, well, I'm just going to take it off the market, do the project, and then list it at retail. I think it's important when we're talking about wholetails to address how we price these. So this is not priced at what retail fixed comps are. So it's not priced at what Zestimate's at. When you're pricing a wholetail, you're going to price it at what similar properties in a similar condition sold at, neglecting to an extent what it might have gone for on the retail end. Oftentimes, I'll see real estate agents and investors try to price wholesale properties like it's a full-blown remodel, and those simply aren't going to sell. Those are your projects that sit on the market forever. They price drop over and over and over and over again, and ultimately they have to keep it as a rental or something because they can't move it. That's why on this property, when it hadn't sold in about 30 days, we took it off market. We looked at the feedback we were getting from our showings, we spruced it up a bit, and we pended it extremely quickly. There's that old expression, I think it's like pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered. Going for retail pricing on something that's not retail ready probably isn't a super sustainable business strategy. The last thing I want to point out with these is there's full disclosure and transparency on these with our sellers. When they reach out to us, we walk them through what we would pay cash for their property, what it would go for on the MLS if they were to just list it as is, as well as what we think that retail fixed up value is and what it costs to get the property into that condition. We tell them on recorded calls, hey, if you sell to us for cash, we very likely might go with option 2, where we turn around, don't do a ton on the property, try to get it back on the market and a new family in there. We also encourage our sellers, where that makes sense for them, to do that themselves. Hey, we can list it for you at this if you're not in a rush and you've got, a little bit of flexibility and your goal is to get the most cash out of it. That's a way better position than lowballing somebody, hoping they don't know what their property's worth, listing it for twice what you told them it was worth, and then hoping that they don't see it. I remember early on in my career, I had a wholetail I did, and it was really cool when the seller called me after the fact, said, hey, I saw the listing. I hope you guys get every dollar of that. This process was great. That's a lot better than being worried that they're going to find out. And that kind of just goes with my goal in real estate of building a blameless business. If you enjoy this kind of content, these sort of tips and tricks, I actually wrote a 71-page ebook stuffed with content like this around how I do everything I do, and it's free. I'm going to link to this free ebook in the top comment on this video. So if you want to learn how to do what we're doing, you can snag it. Again, it's totally free. Full disclosure, you are going to get emails from me. If you don't want emails from me, just unsubscribe. I don't check it and you're not going to hurt my feelings. If you're a real estate investor or agent who's already done some deals and you're looking to scale, I'd love to chat with you personally about what working with us inside of CCF looks like, and I'll link to that down below as well. Thank you guys for taking the time to hang out with me today and watch today's video. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll talk to you next time.